Good morning, Retro. My name is Nate.
I'm Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about toys.
Wake up!
All right, well, toys from the 80s and 90s are very, very iconic.
And nostalgic.
And very nostalgic. I go through toy stores now, and I feel like the toys that are sold are nothing that are comparable to what we grew up with, right?
Well, and having kids, nowadays, you notice that they're not into toys like we were. It's right to technology, iPads, video games. So even the kids' toys they do have available, I feel like nobody gravitates towards them the way we used to.
Yep. And there's a ton of remakes now.
Of course.
They're bringing back those toys that we grew up with. We've seen Micro Machines. We've seen Ninja Turtles. I don't know how many generations of those that exist.
Power Rangers are still around.
Yeah, Power Rangers is still a thing. What? So there's still some of those series that are hanging on and pulling at our nostalgic heartstrings. And so we're going to be talking about
two of them.
Dos. Two. That's Spanish for two.
Yes, the almighty Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or TMNT. And then, of course, the classic
G.I. Joes.
America G.I. Joes.
G.I. Joes.
Yes.
Yo Joe.
The
so
real
both
American heroes.
I grew up with both.
Yeah.
Same for
you?
you?
Same.
And they both had cartoons that I watched both of those. Mm-hmm. And what was some of your experience with these toys? Do you remember getting them as a kid?
Yeah, so I got them both. Like I got right into the Turtles, obviously, as everybody did. The show really kicked off. And then Joe was right around the same time. I want to say I was collecting both of them kind of throughout. I think for me, G.I. Joe had longer legs because the Turtles thing hit hard, crashed, and then I still continued to want and buy G.I. Joe stuff until I was much older and had outgrown the Turtles.
Right, yeah. And mine, very similar. I'm pretty sure the cartoons got me pulled in to both the Turtles and Joes, and that was something that we'd go to KB Toys and I would just be like, Mom, please, just one figure.
Yeah.
And, so I was able to build a collection of Joes. My Turtles, unfortunately, we moved a lot growing up, and my mom sold them in a garage sale.
Okay.
Mom, if you're watching this video, it still hurts.
See, and I have the opposite experience. I've managed to hang on to everything I had Turtles-wise. It's still in storage at my parents' house, I'm fairly certain. I saw it recently, though. Yeah, I gotta get them. But I personally sold all my G.I. Joe stuff. I had a massive collection, many vehicles, bunch of figures, and I put them on the garage sale. And then a younger neighbor kid came by, and I didn't even charge him. I was like, you know what, bud? Oh, no. You enjoy these. And I gave him a whole lot. Yeah.
That's so bad. I still have my Joes from my childhood. I have two large bins. I remember I'd get figurines for, just good behavior, stuff like that. But then the vehicles is Christmas,
special occasion,
birthdays, and I still have all of those.
Yep.
I pull them out maybe once a year, and looks cool, they're still there, lid back on, back in storage. My son, he thinks they're cool, but he doesn't get excited about these.
Yeah. Well, so and you touched on something I think that's important with G.I. Joe too, is the G.I. Joe, that was not a new property, right? That was the first action figure for kids. So our dads had that nostalgia already for G.I. Joe built in. So I think that's why it was such a loved toy when our generation came around, and the smaller form factor in the new show, people were already on board.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that has surprised me with both properties is, especially with the G.I. Joes, they haven't made a remake of them. And even with some of the newer movies that came out a few years ago, there just wasn't anything with them.
I want to say, I went to Target recently, and because of the new movie, I think they are doing some on-card figures again.
Interesting.
But
I just figured they thought they were too violent with guns and stuff like that.
Well, that's a problem these days. Dang it. But it's amazing how the Turtles have never died. The Turtles came onto the scene, and they've ebbed and flowed like any property, but I would argue that they're still as relevant as they were when we were kids. Nickelodeon continues to take advantage of that property and push it out there any way they can, and figures are still coming, but nothing beats the original line of the Turtles.
Yeah. Did you have some of these? I know, like Ninja Turtles especially, you feel like they run out of the original figurines, kind of like the He-Man series and Masters of the Universe He-Man thing, where they have their core characters and then they're like, and here's a furry man.
Yeah.
And so I felt like G.I. Joe had some of those with like the cyber team and you know, some branch offs. But I feel like the Ninja Turtles did get a little weird with some of their characters that they had.
It started to be they were just recycling, and it was like every year they'd introduce like a new set of the main characters, but with a twist, you know?
Yeah.
This time they convert into a full turtle. This time they've got an action arm.
This guy's got the investigator.
Yes.
I feel like I see Donatello in the investigator stuff all the time.
And luckily, from my collecting perspective and my love of the Turtles, I fell off after that original line. You know, I got some of the extra villains as they introduced them through the show, but I really didn't deviate off of that maybe first year and a half, 2 years of Turtle figures.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I got some weird ones. Yeah. Ones with like the fish on the arms. I don't understand that stuff. But yeah, Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joes. Do you guys have a favorites?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. We'd like to know. I know there's a ton of other toys, but when we come back, I feel like we need to debate a little bit on if one had a burn.
Oh boy.
Introducing Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats in a box. May we suggest, when satisfying your craving for the chewy, marshmallowy, homemade taste of Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats Squares, I want one! Don't forget your friends. New Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats in a box. Got a craving?
Let's give it up for the ultimate flavor lineup. It's called a Flavor Mania. Featuring tropical punch, fresh and berry, and the other K8 flavors in Flavor Mania. Now Kool-Aid has something really big. Free pod milk caps, officially licensed, foil flashing, and high flying. Now 10 collector pod and 1 big man slammer free. Are mailing in an order form with 24 Kool-Aid points. See order form for details. Oh yeah.
All right, and we're back. So now it's time for the great debate. G.I. Joe, TMNT. What is the ultimate property? What was the ultimate nostalgic toy line?
It's easy. It's G.I. Joe.
You're going Joe?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. The Turtles are pretty cool.
They're not cool.
I mean, look at the size.
Here's why. When we talk about nostalgia and what pulls at our heartstrings, I feel like this is very generational. Where, yes, they were the bigger G.I. Joes that our dads had, that they played with, and then kind of carried over to us. And you have a cartoon that was patriotic.
It was also not that great. Have you watched it recently?
No, have you?
Yes.
Recently?
Yeah, I've seen episodes of them in the last couple of years.
Where are they?
They're online, like the internet, man. Just Google that.
Yeah, so I feel that the Joes are just generational, multi-generational. They're American heroes. There's a ton of them, not just a whole bunch of the same characters.
Look at this. They branched out. There's mutants. They can do anything. There's aliens. There's Foot Clan. There's ducks.
They're not realistic, though.
Yes, they are.
G.I. Joes were realistic.
Did you see the Michael Bay movies? They could be super realistic, creepy realistic.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, look at this. see, win. So I'm going to argue
But look at how many you can fit in a cup.
I'm going to argue that TMNT is the better property.
Look at this jacuzzi of G.I. Joes. Jacuzzi of Joes. How many of these can you fit in?
Well, they're turtles.
3 turtles.
They're bigger.
Oh, that's not my problem.
Look at the movies.
That's a terrible argument.
Throw away the Michael Bay movies.
Okay.
Look at the 3 original movies. Look at the video games. Look at the quality of the animated show. The legs it still has. If you asked a kid today, if you held both of these up, Ask like random 6-year-old boy.
But we'd put a gun in this hand.
And he'd run away screaming. I guarantee you, my argument is, if you ask a 6-year-old kid today and held both, put these on a table, instantly they're going to recognize the turtle before they're going to recognize G.I. Joe.
Yeah, you're absolutely.
You can't argue with that.
You're absolutely. I'm a terrible debater. I'm
You just
terrible.
folded.
I've been persuaded. I would actually say that turtles might be a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
I will at least give you that I was much more into the toy line. I liked the realistic military like vehicle.
You
part of it.
wavered.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So that was always like my jam, and that's why I continued collecting them.
yeah.
But
It's
if
like turtles can't drive
Right.
vehicles.
They've only got 2 toes. It doesn't work.
2 toes.
But I would argue that the Granddaddy IP, like, nostalgia-wise, can't beat the turtles.
Yeah. So if we lined it up to the entire property where
Yes.
we have just like video games,
Yes.
turtles have the better games.
Hands down.
Because I mean, there's essentially what 2.
There's 2 on the
NES.
NES.
Is there anything more?
Both of them are not great. I'm pretty sure there's some more 3D
Anything
era
on
games.
Super Nintendo? G.I. Joes? I
Boy,
don't think so.
There's not a ton. There was a big gap.
That's really interesting.
There was some newer games, I think, because of the newer movies, but yeah.
Because there were still turtles on SNES, Genesis,
Super Nintendo, Wii,
GameCube.
GameCube, Xbox. I mean, it never went
It
away.
continues on.
They reiterated it every couple years, so
Yeah.
I think it takes the cake.
I would like to see these come back though.
I would like to see them too. The vehicles, especially.
Especially the vehicles. One of these times we should do a video on our collections of toys.
I don't have much, so it's gonna be all on
But you
bud.
bring your turtles.
I could, yeah, that's true. I could find them.
Twiddles.
Tweedles.
Bring your twiddles.
All right, what do you prefer, the Tweedles or the Joes? Let us know.
Kawayojo. Let's just have them both. Let's not burn one.
Kawayojo? I like
Yeah,
it.
Kawayojo.
All right. Kawayojo!